ஆயிடுச்சு.
இதுதான் பேசுறாங்க. இது வால்யூம் அது பண்றது.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. While we wait for the event to begin, let's break some ice. As you can see, there's a poll on your screen now. Please go ahead and fill this poll. Once you've answered all the questions, please close the poll screen. Thank you. Thank you for answering in the poll. இந்த உலகத்தில் பிறந்த அனைவருக்கும் வரலாற்றின் பக்கங்களில் ஒரு பக்கம் ஒதுக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. ஆனால் அந்த ஒரு பக்கத்தை இந்த உலகையே படிக்க வைப்பது உங்கள் கைகளில் தான் உள்ளது என்று சொன்னார் டாக்டர் அப்துல் கலாம். Vanakkam and good evening once again. I am Jennifer Jagam and it is my pleasure to extend a hearty welcome to all of you to FFE's virtual meet. With the pandemic hitting us physically and emotionally, it has become all the more necessary for us to stay connected and come together to achieve our goals with much more enthusiasm and positivity. And precisely the reason why we are conducting the session today for our scholars studying in Tamil Nadu. We are delighted to have with us today our scholars, facilitators, and alumni from different parts of the country. And we are extremely grateful to our donors who are joining us today. We welcome Mr. Sudata Gautam and Ms. Anita Kumar from Amazon, Ms. Janani NM from Ethos, Mr. Akhil Iron from NetApp India, and Ms. Malu Gatza. And we are also very happy to welcome one of the board members of FFE India Trust, Ms. Smita Uttarwar. It goes without saying how happy your presence makes us. Before we move ahead with the first agenda for the evening, I would like to share the poll results with you all. Ratna, can we have the poll results, please?
We can see that, Jennifer.
Yes, it's on the screen, Jennifer.
It's on the screen.
Oh, the results look interesting. And if you don't know any of the answers, hopefully you'll be able to figure them out before the end of the session. I would now like to begin this evening by inviting FFE's Managing Trustee, Dr. Sudha Kidao, to address the gathering. Dr. Sudha has been volunteering for FFE for more than a decade, first in the USA and from 2010 in India, beginning with the establishment of FFE's office in Bangalore. Please welcome Dr. Sudha Kidao.
Thank you, Jennifer. Good evening, everyone. Vanakkam. This would have been an occasion that we would have hosted an event in Chennai, but because of the pandemic, there is a silver lining. We get to meet all of you virtually, the largest number of participants in any of our events so far. I'm delighted to welcome all of you, students, our alumni, our volunteers, Mr. Sudata, our esteemed board member, Smita Uttarwar, and all of you to this virtual open house for students and alumni and volunteers from Tamil Nadu. We have a lot to cover this evening, so I'd like to get started with the first slide, please. Next slide, please. So the mission of the foundation, all of you are familiar with this. You all are scholarship recipients. Congratulations, you've been awarded a scholarship from the Foundation for Excellence because of the criteria that you meet of merit and means. Congratulations for being part of the FFE family. And the mission of the foundation is through the scholarship program that you all have been awarded for, some of you for the 3rd year and some for the 4th year. Next slide, please. As you all know, the scholarship program in the past several years have been for students in engineering and medicine. Last year, FFE in its 25th anniversary celebration, we launched 2 new scholarship programs for students in law and B.Pharm. So today we now support students in 4 different disciplines in 27 states in India. Next slide, please. I'd like to quickly tell you a little bit about the history of the foundation. It was started by a very successful Indian entrepreneur, Dr. Prabhu Goel and his wife, Mrs. Poonam Goel. FFE was first established in the US in 1994. And it started with a lot of people, donors from the US, funding the scholarship program, and it was always in India. Now, many of the students who got our scholarship did very well and went on to get jobs and were very successful and wanted to donate to the foundation. And they did not have a way of doing it. And hence the Foundation for Excellence India Trust was established in 2003. It is in Bangalore. It's a registered trust. And the first donations to the Foundation for Excellence India Trust came from our very own alumni. And we're so proud of that because we know that the future of FFE lies in the hands of our alumni. Last year, we achieved a milestone. We've helped over 25,000 students to date in scholarships for the last 26 years. Next slide, please. I've mentioned Dr. Prabhu Goel based in the US. There is an FFE board in the US, and there is an FFE India Trust in India. As you can see, the members of the trust are the trustees, including Ms. Smita Uttarwar, who's here with us today. We have Dr. Rishi Krishnan, who is a director of IIM Bangalore. We have Mr. Venk Shukla, who's a very successful entrepreneur, and Mr. Arun Kumar, the chairman and CEO of KPMG India. And both these entities in the US and India work very closely together to make all our programs possible. Next slide, please. What does FFE India Trust do? I know all of you know that we have an office in Bangalore, but what does this office do? So we administer the scholarship program. This is a program that's administered in 27 states in India. We also raise funds, and you'll soon see who are the donors, the significant donors who support us, and a lot of individual donors and our alumni. So we manage the scholarship program. We manage the large network of alumni. We also have a large network of volunteers. All of this is managed from the Bangalore office. So in addition to the scholarship program, as you all know, there are two more programs, the skills training program, which all of you engineering students are going through, and we also run a mentoring program. And how do we do all of this? We do this with the help of a lot of partners. That includes more than 40 corporates, thousands of individuals, including our alumni, over 500 volunteers, our facilitators, whom we truly value for their services, and we have about 15 charitable trusts. And all of these individuals and organizations and entities make this organization grow and thrive. Next slide, please. I want to bring the focus back to a very important component of FFE, our volunteers, our facilitators. They play a very important role and I want to thank each one of them for being with us. Some of them have been with us for decades, for their dedication, their sincerity, and their commitment to help FFE achieve its goals of meeting students, of mentoring students, and verifying student credentials. Thank you for all that you do for the organization. Next slide, please. Where are we today? As you can see, we've come a long way. Last year alone, we've awarded over 6,000 scholarships. In totality, over the 26 years, we've awarded over 63,000 scholarships, amounting to over 190 crores. Today, I can say that we are the largest scholarship granting organization in India, in 27 states, in the higher education sector. And I want to thank everyone who's been part of this journey and have made this possible for us, including our donors who are here with us today. Next, please. How did we do last year? One of the years, we had the largest number of scholarship awardees last year. Over 6,000 scholarships were awarded, and it amounted to over 27 crores. We've always wanted to have more women join our scholarship program, and we are slowly but surely succeeding. We have moved the needle from 20% women to 23% women, as you can see. And we've also had in the past 80% engineers, 20% medical students. That has shifted too. So we have today other streams being also supported by FFE, including law and B.Pharm. Next slide, please. How did we do in Tamil Nadu? Wonderful statistics here that I'd like to share. I've mentioned that 80% of our students are men, and very happy to see that we have 36% of women from Tamil Nadu pursuing professional programs that we are able to support, whom we are able to support through scholarships. So congratulations. I hope we'll get more and more of them into our family, the FFE family, I mean. I'm also very happy to see that, we have a nice mix of students in Tamil Nadu from BE, BTech, We have medical students. We have students in law. The only representation we're missing here is B Farm, and I hope we can change that as well. So last year we awarded over 1,000 scholarships to students. Over 4.53 is what it amounted to. I must say that Tamil Nadu is one of the states in India where we have the largest number of scholarship recipients. So congratulations for all the good work you all do. Congratulations to all you students. Next slide, please. This is just a map to show that we have a pan-India distribution of students. You can see that in some states, we need to do far better. The ones in red need to be really taken care of. Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal, Tripura, Manipur, Nagaland, Assam, we don't have a very strong presence. Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Gujarat, we're doing very well. So we hope that we can help more students all over India, and that will happen when we get more funds. Next slide, please. So FFE is an organization that grants scholarships, but that's not the only thing we do. We are very keen and interested in making sure that all of you are able to pursue your dreams. We think every one of you students has very high potential, and we want to be part of the journey where you can achieve your dreams. And one way that we are doing this is through providing skills training programs for employability, providing the skills that you need so that you can pursue your careers, whatever it is, whether it is in corporates, in the civil services. I know some of you want to do that. Some of you want to become entrepreneurs. Whatever it is that you want to do, we want to be part of the journey and to help you get there. And that has been made possible through very generous grant from the Michael and Susan Dell Foundation, and most recently by Capgemini. In addition to the skills training program, we also have a mentoring program where we are matching students to mentors who come from industry. And we hope that they will, together with you, be able to take you along the journey to, again, achieving your dreams by learning new skills along the way. So I want all of you to make use of all the opportunities that FFE is providing, including chances for internships, opportunities for training, any kind of sessions that corporates offer. And we hope it will lead to jobs, a very robust resume that will help you achieve your dreams. Next slide. Next slide, please. Yes. This is a very important slide. It's about the circle of giving. And what is the circle of giving? It is about the pledge that all of you scholars sign, which says that whenever you are ready and you are able to, you will pay forward to the Foundation for Excellence and help more students achieve their dreams, just like someone else helped you achieve yours. And that is a circle of giving. We are very proud that more and more of our alumni are giving generously to the Foundation for Excellence. Last year alone, you can see that over 1,500 alumni contributed over 1 crore in 1 year to the Foundation for Excellence. We're indeed very proud of our alumni. Please remember, the organization is yours, and we hope you all will make it a self-sustaining organization. Over 2,200 alumni have contributed over the years, and many of them, what you see as 3.5 crores indirect contributions, are contributions that have come because alumni have connected us to the companies where they work, and the companies in turn have given us funds. They have connected us to their networks, to their personal and professional networks, who in turn have helped the Foundation for Excellence. And that is how our base has grown, our family has grown. So thank you, alumni, for all that you do for FFE. And we think we can do a whole lot more with you all in the coming years. Next slide, please. We have won awards and recognition for all the work that we do. You can see that there's one there, Guide Star, which is for transparency, for accountability, for integrity, all of which are very important to every NGO. I'm most proud of the recent award that we won, which is on the extreme left top corner, which is from Cognizant Foundation. And this is a recognition from the board of Cognizant Foundation, recognizing FFE's work and a very long-term partnership with Cognizant Foundation that they found to be really worthy of an award. So thank you. Thank you, Cognizant Foundation. Next slide, please. This is a slide that is pulling together all the donors, corporate donors that have made the programs possible. All of you students, you may be able to see the companies that are sponsoring your scholarship. So we have over 40 corporates today engaging with FFE. And I hope at the end of this, we will soon see Amazon also on this list. The other partners that we have are various foundations. You can see a World of Opportunity Foundation it's part of the Aditya Birla Group. And many of you students here have been, are being sponsored by them. You can see the Cognizant Foundation, the Hans Foundation, the Michael and Susan Dell Foundation, who's funding the entire training program. So we are truly grateful for these partnerships that make these programs successful. Next slide, please. How is it that we do all of this from a small office in Bangalore? It happens because we have this wonderful team that's working tirelessly to make these programs possible. Includes our finance team, our training and mentoring team, our alumni team, our donor relations team, our scholarship team, technology, and finally our admin team. And I want to say that all of them today are not in Bangalore, they are in different parts of India, but they continue to serve the Foundation for Excellence so that we can deliver on our programs and make this year a rather dismal year in all respects, a wonderful one for hopefully all of you, where you get your scholarships in time and you can go on and participate in classes and not worry about how you're going to pay your fee. I hope we can do that for you this year as well. Thank you. Thank you all for your patience and for your kind listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudha. I'm very sure that the presentation has answered all the questions that were posted on the poll. I would request the participants to please use the Q&A box to post any questions you may have. We'll have a Q&A session at the end of the event, and we can address it then. Today, not only do we have our stakeholders from across India, but we also have a message from FFE's founder, Dr. Prabhu Goel, who is currently in the US. An IIT Kanpur alumnus and the recipient of the President's Gold Medal for Academic Excellence, Dr. Goel received a PhD in electrical engineering from Carnegie Mellon University. Dr. Prabhu Goel and his wife, Mrs. Poonam Goel, established the Foundation for Excellence in 1994. Dr. Goel started his career with the management and technical positions at IBM, and over time, he has served on the board of directors of many private and public companies. Let us now listen to Dr. Prabhu Goel's message.
Hello, everyone. I'm delighted to be able to welcome you all to this FFE Open House. In particular, I want to welcome our scholars, our alumni, our facilitators, the FFE management team, our guests, and our esteemed donors. A very, very warm welcome to each and every one of you. I want to convey a few messages in this video. It will be short. First, to the scholars. These are difficult times indeed. COVID is not easy to deal with under any circumstances. To have to complete your education in an environment where you cannot be at school in person is even harder, with or without online courses. I know that our scholars can overcome these challenges. And why do I have this confidence? The reason I have this confidence is you, because you have shown in the past that you can overcome any odds to be successful. To get to where you are today, you did indeed overcome insurmountable odds. I congratulate you for that, and I wish you all the best for your continuing efforts and success. To the alumni that are present today, I want to remind you to continue your connections with FFE as you move forward in life. And do not forget to help others who have not been as fortunate as yourselves. Help them achieve and overcome the same obstacles that you had to face in your lives. For all our scholars, alumni or to current scholars, keep upskilling yourself. The more valuable you are to the world around you, the more valuable you become to yourself. Continue to develop new skills. Make yourself more valuable. To our current scholars, we have a lot of online programs at FFE that we offer for upskilling. Online courses for soft skills. We have technical courses that we use to supplement your college education. And we have supplemental courses in things like Python, etc., that are available to you. So please do take advantage of them and make them enhance your value. To the facilitators that are out there today, we could not have been where we are today in terms of connecting with the scholars had it not been for you. And you do this as volunteers. We're very grateful to you for that. And finally, to our esteemed donors, this entire effort that we go through, this entire organization would not be possible without your financial support and generosity. The fact that you come back and support us year after year is what keeps us going, what keeps our scholars going, and what allows us to be successful. Thank you so, so very much. I wish you all a wonderful day, and I hope we all come out of it learning a lot more on how to address the challenges of the future. Thank you all.
That was a wonderful and inspiring message from FFE's founder, Dr. Prabhu Goel. This evening, we are honored to introduce and welcome our keynote speaker, Mr. Sudhata Gautam. Mr. Sudhata is a senior technology leader from Amazon India. Sudhata hails from Mysore, Karnataka. A technologist all his life, he started his career in Bangalore. He moved to California in 2002 to work for a startup which pioneered in MMS messaging. He spent 15 years in California working in companies like LinkedIn, Salesforce, and Amazon. He returned to India in 2017 and currently leads category technology teams in Amazon India. Sudhata also has a patent on web performance. Off work, he enjoys agriculture and reading books. Over to you, Mr. Sudhata Gautam. We'll be happy to hear from you. Please welcome Mr. Sudhata Gautam.
We can't hear you, Mr. Sudhata.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Jennifer. So dear esteemed members of the panel, my dear scholars, students, Foundation for Excellence volunteers, and esteemed guests. It is a privilege to be addressing you all today. And also thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity to learn about a Foundation for Excellence. It's really a lot of inspiring work that the Foundation for Excellence is doing. Really happy to see that. So I was wondering about, what do I talk about today? And I thought I might just as well talk about my own journey and my own journey through some of the uncertainties. Given that these are some uncertain times, just wanted to share some of my experiences to say why and how important it is to keep up a very positive outlook and how things are going to turn out for the better and how do we prepare for that. But first of all, about myself. What do I do for Amazon? I lead teams that work on enabling various capabilities for Indian customers. Also, it is a very exciting place to be in, especially Amazon, because we get to work on a lot of cutting edge technologies and leveraging them to solve real customer problems. For example, how does one use machine learning to show you the right phone case for a phone that you're going to buy? How do we map that? How do we show you the right ones? Or what is the most optimal route for a product to reach to your doorstep? Are some of the exciting problems that we get to work on. So that said, let me get to my story. Next slide, please. So yeah, like Jennifer said, I studied in Mysore, and after 12, I had really no clue what I was going to be doing. Um, so I was fairly clueless, uh, lacked real focus, and didn't have a lot of ambitions. Obviously, engineering seats were not also available a lot back in those days. So just decided, okay, I would go take a BSc, and then after that, I'll figure out what I want to do. Next slide, please. Next slide. So yeah, and getting to BSc, what do I do after BSc? Is kind of like was a question. By second year, I developed a very keen interest in chemistry, and by then I had decided I wanted to do masters in chemistry. And interestingly, somebody just gave me a GMAT book, and even though I was not planning to take any GMAT, I had no real ambitions of taking up a further master's course. But then I started doing the aptitude tests. Those deeply interested me, and this just out of interest. So when you do something out of interest, it really catches on to you and becomes like a hobby. So started doing that. And getting closer to the end of BSc, wanted to take some entrance tests, applied for about 11 different courses in the University of Mysore, and then also applied for a job in railways and so on. A lot of these interestingly happened to be on aptitude, and that really got me going. And in fact, next please. In fact, I landed all 11 courses that I had applied to, and even the railways job, I landed it, and then it became a tough job to kind of decide what I wanted to do. So then I finally, given that in high school, I had taken a computer course and then I had done some programming, I felt really interested in pursuing that. And that's how I ended up taking up a course in Masters in Computers. Next slide, please. So then I landed my first job. I did my internship in Siemens and then talked to some friends when I wanted to get a job. That's how I landed my first job at this company called Netcraft. So post Netcraft, I went to California to work with this company called Lightset, which was pioneering in MMS technology. We were trying to put cameras on cell phones and then trying to see if we could send images taken over those cameras to other phones. We thought it would be a cool idea. Little we know that 20 years later, this would become mainstream. But this was right in time for what happened during that instance, right? Like it was called a dot-com boom. So very interestingly, when I would be, weekends, I would be going to Mysore by train. People would ask me, "Oh, you're working in software companies. Why are you not in US? Everyone who works for software companies goes to US." And I would find it very odd why they asked that. However, the dot-com boom crashed. That means a lot of the internet companies which were overvalued had to come down, and there was a large market correction that happened. And these were very uncertain times. Looked like a lot of the internet-based companies were closing down, a lot of technology companies were closing down. And the same people who would ask me, you haven't gone to US, were asking me, hey, you still have a job. We have heard that all the software companies are closing. So what is happening? And I really had to keep a cool head about me and not to worry about this. And we were able to persist. The company fortunately survived and we were able to persist. Next slide, please.
Siddhartha, could you be louder, please?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Is this better?
Yes, yes.
Okay, got it. So next, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so then fast forward to 2008, again, there was a real market correction that happened. In US, there were these real estate firms which went bankrupt, and then that had a cascading impact on the banks. There were a few big banks that closed, and that had a worldwide impact, worldwide market correction. There were so many companies that actually closed, started with finance, housing finance, and then kind of had an impact onto the software companies as well. Even in Bangalore, many companies closed at that time. And once again, these seemed like very bleak times, very uncertain. Anyone who was looking for a job at that time will probably very well remember as to whether they'll even land a job or not. However, by 2009, things were again back fine, right? Everything was looking good. So what was my learning? And why did I talk about these two crashes? Is because here is one thing that I have realized, and I have gone back in history and looked at several instances. it seems to be cyclical. So there are these times when there is a correction for various reasons, and then that means that there is going to be several years of upside after that. So it is very important for us to keep that positive outlook. Next slide, please. So COVID-19, as we are in, right, is also a crisis that we are going through, and it's definitely very concerning, and prayers are with those who are infected and hope everyone stays safe. However, the upside is that the human spirit will overcome the current crisis. We will all together overcome this day, and then a few years later, we will be looking back at this time as one of the interesting phases in our life that we kind of persisted through. Next slide, please. So here are then the three things that I want you to take away as someone who is probably going through college and wondering and worried about your future, and to see what you would want to do. How do you prepare yourself for this kind of an uncertain time? But I believe that this is something positive as well. Next slide, please. So first of all, brush up and relearn the basics. And why the emphasis on the basics? Because let's say I'll speak for computer science, but that said, I believe it is applicable to almost every discipline that is out there as well. So if I talk about computer science, algorithms, programming, and data structures are some of the very, very basic stuff, right? So definitely brush up on those. Those will not sustain you just for the next few days for your upcoming interviews, but they will stay with you for your entire career. So use this time to really go back to the basics, study. And if you're aiming for competitive exams, even better. Next slide, please. And be curious. There is plenty of topics and plenty of free courses that are out there in YouTube. One of the things that I always find it very amusing is that when I was a student, if I wanted to learn something, I had to go really borrow a book from somebody or go to a library or have to buy a book, and even the books were not containing all the information that you look for, right? If I wanted to learn Java, I had to go get a book in Java, but then if there was a very special question that I had in Java, there was nobody to go to. However, today all of that information exists in YouTube, many other websites. There are plenty of courses against into computer science, on algorithms, machine learning, AWS. There's plenty of stuff that you could try. All of these are free accounts are available. If you're a student, my advice to you is that watch, listen, and practice. Next slide, please. And the other important thing is to build your network. And it was really heartening to see that FFE also offers mentors, right? So connect with your mentors, connect with the folks that you do internship with. It not only helps you land your next job, but it definitely helps you in your career in the long run. For example, I landed my first job in NetCraft or the subsequent roles that I got at LinkedIn and Salesforce all through my contacts or my network. In US, there's a Verizon ad that says your network follows you, which is true. In fact, it's your network that kind of keeps you moving. So build your network. How do you build your network? Reach out to your seniors, attend conferences, definitely volunteer. And the other very important aspect of it is help others. And Sudhakar Rao was saying earlier, right? Give back to the community. If you find an opportunity that is not suited for you or you are not interested in, make sure that you tap somebody else and then get them hooked up to that opportunity. These are things that will go a long way. The more you help, the stronger your network gets. Talk to your mentors, keep the interactions meaningful, and keeping the interactions meaningful and impactful is the best way to make impressions, and that will carry you a really, really long way. So these are the three takeaways that I would want you to have. And with that, next slide, please. I would like to leave you with this quote by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, a really inspiring personality that I look up to a lot. Climbing to the top demands strength, whether it is the top of Mount Everest or to the top of your career. Thank you. With that, I end my session. Once again, thank you, Foundation for Excellence, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you all. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sudhata. Your message has been very inspiring for all of us. Participants, a reminder to please continue posting your questions in the Q&A box. If you have any questions to Mr. Sudhata, please post it in the Q&A box. He will be happy to answer that. FFE has been very fortunate to be backed by a team of highly motivated and dedicated facilitators who have been helping FFE through their tireless efforts for many years and voluntary services. We have with us today one of our facilitators from Tamil Nadu, Mr. Padmanabhan Ramachandran, who has been actively involved with FFE for a long time. Let us now listen to his message.
Good evening to all of my friends. We are all linked here in pandemic situation by the great technology which we never dreamt of it. Foundation for Excellence is an organization for the student community of aspirants from economically unaffordable families. FFE has emerged to help the intelligent students by way of awarding scholarships to the deserving aspirants with its necessary parameters. Really, I feel elated and blessed to be a boatman to carry the students crossing the river to reach their destination of FFE on the other bank. On the other bank of the river. Facilitators' work is like a small squirrel's work. My humble request to the scholars under FFE scholarship to navigate through the FFE website and understand its selfless goal, work culture, and alumni's messages. Today, FFE has helped you to shape your future, and tomorrow you may be a great good support to upcoming student. இங்கு FFEயில் உதவுபவர் உதவி பெறுபவர் இவர்களின் மதம் இனம் மொழி எதுவும் தெரியாது, மனங்கள் மட்டுமே பேசுகின்றன. இதே தான் வள்ளுவர் சொல்கிற போது காலத்தினால் செய்த உதவி சிறிதெனினும் அது ஞானத்தின் மானப்பெரிது என்று சொல்லியிருக்கிறார். அதே போல் இன்னொரு குறளில் நன்றி மறப்பது நன்றன்று, அதை அன்றே மறப்பது நன்று அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்கிறார். ஸோ உங்கள் மனமும் பேசட்டும் எதிர்காலத்தில். வாய்ப்புக்கு நன்றி, விடைபெறுகிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful message. We have another video message from one of our facilitators, Mrs. Jaya Krishnaswamy. Let us now listen to her message.
My greetings to everyone at FFE. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to talk to you. I look forward to the FFE event every year, which happens at Chennai, because I can meet so many people, so many of the office bearers in FFE, Mr. Goel and his family, so many parents and so many students as well. In the past 2 or 3 decades, during which I have been an FFE facilitator, I have come across several hundreds of students and their families. It has been an eye-opener for me how much difficulties they have been facing and how wonderful an opportunity it has been for each one of them to get the FFE scholarship. I mentor as much as I can to tell them how to manage their time and how to use the opportunity to expand their knowledge and also become better persons in life. Learning through scholarship is one thing, but using it to become a human being, better human being, is yet another. I'm sure many of the beneficiaries would one day become very good, respectful citizens, thanks to FFE. I wish the FFE many, many more years in its great service. Goel and his family, many good, healthy years again. All the office bearers of FFE, all the students and all the parents. Perhaps one day, India FFE will be a giver to children even across the seas, rather than just remain a receiver so far. It's my appeal to all the students to plow back whatever they can when they go on a career so that they will light the lamp in many homes just as they have been illuminated by the FFE. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the inspiring message. We are thankful to each one of our facilitators who are in fact the backbone of our organization. And today we have over 30 of them, and they are Mrs. Usha Balaji, Mrs. Jaya Krishnaswamy, Mrs. Vasantamani S, Mrs. Vanuva Malay S, Mr. Balaji R, Mr. Satyamurthy KR, Mr. Satish Kumar P, Mr. Jambu L, Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan yes, Mr. Aravamudan yes, Mr. Sundarrajan K, Mr. Venkatakrishnan YV, Mr. Raghupati M, Mr. Ramachandran N, Mr. Manoharan DK, Mr. Padmanabhan Ramachandran, Mrs. Lalita Srinivasan, Mr. Srivaranjan R, Mrs. Uma Maheshwari Ramesh, Mrs. Girija Ramachandran, Mrs. Tamilarasi V, Mrs. Aparna Raghupati, Mr. Hariharan Iyer V, Mr. Srinivasan T, Mrs. R. Usha Kumari, Mr. Krishnan S.N., Mr. Venkatesh Jambulingam, Mr. Ganesan yes, Mr. Prince Stephen Jacob S, Mr. Ravi Nagarajan, Mr. Madhavan yes, Mrs. Padmavati, Ms. Enid Beena Devanasan from Gurukulam, Mr. Ramakrishnan CS. Today, we are also recognizing contributions of some of FFE's facilitator volunteers. Please put your hands together and cheer for them by sending messages on the chat box as their names are being called out. I would like Dr. Sudha to take over, please.
Thank you, Jennifer. It is my absolute honor, privilege, and pleasure to give a special token of appreciation in the form of a certificate to our facilitators who have given of themselves tirelessly for so many years to the Foundation for Excellence as volunteers. Many of them have been with the foundation much longer than I have had any association, and they know more about the history of the organization and where we were and where we are. Thank you for playing such an important role. And all we are able to do at this time is to express our thank you through a certificate. And these are certificates of appreciation for Mr. Krishnan S, Mr. Hariharan Iyer, Mrs. Girija Ramachandran, Mrs. Lalita Srinivasan, Mr. Padmanabhan Ramachandran, Mr. Manoharan, and Mr. Raghupati. And to all of you, thank you for being here today. I also want to make special mention of Mr. Suresh Seshan, who was our first managing trustee, former executive director of the Foundation for Excellence in the US. He's here with us today. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Seshan. And I know that you know so many of these volunteers who have worked with you for several years before I joined the organization. So it's great to welcome all the family members back in. And thank you all for being here. Thank you.
We thank each one of you for your dedication and commitment towards FFE. Request all the panel members to please turn on your videos for all the participants here to see you all.
It's great to see so many congratulations coming to all the facilitators. So students, keep those congratulations coming.
Coming up next is a video message from FFE scholar Prashant N, who is currently pursuing his MBBS from Stanley Medical College, Chennai. Let us hear it from Prashant.
Hello everyone, good evening. I'm R. Prashant, final year MBBS student from Government Stanley Medical College, Chennai. My parents are farmer and I have elder sister who is married. I scored 98% in both 10th and 12th standard and entered into my dream course. But managing the financial expenses of this long course was difficult for me. I got to know about FFE through one of my college senior, and I have been part of FFE for past 4 years. I actively participated in Rotary Club activities, academic and sports events. My goal is to become general surgeon after completing MBBS. I would like to thank FFE and FFE team for providing me with this scholarship, which helped me to manage all the expenses of this long course. And I would also like to thank my facilitator, Mr. Aravamudan sir, for his guidance and support. FFE also conducted webinars for medical students, which was very useful. And I would like to come back and join FFE and contribute to FFE in near future. Thank you, FFE team again.
Thank you, Prashant. We have another video message from FFE scholar Ilakia R, who is currently doing her final year engineering from Madras Institute of Technology. Let us hear what Ilakia has to say.
Good evening everyone. I am Ilakia Rajashekar, studying Information Technology final year at MIT Chennai. My father is a driver and my mother is a homemaker, and I had one elder sister who had completed her bachelor degree in nursing and working in Abu Dhabi. I scored 99% in my class 10 board exam and 98% in my class 12 board exam. After joining in college, I heard about FFE through my faculty, Mr. Veerabhadran sir, and I applied for this scholarship. Since then, FFE have been taking care of my educational requirements, not only in terms of expenses, but also to build my career strong by providing many trainings like Coursera courses, Hello English program, and AMCAT exam. Hello English program helped me to improve my communication skills, and AMCAT exam score plays an important role in my resume. I placed it in Athena Healthcare, a top product IT-based USA company. FFE trainings helped me a lot for my placements, so I strongly suggest all my juniors to utilize all the FFE trainings to succeed in placements and their careers. And I wish you all the best. I would like to thank FFE and the team FFE and my donor TransUnion Civil Private Limited. I would also like to thank my facilitator Mr. Balaji sir for being with me in all the time need. I would like to come back to support and guide FFE students like me in future. Thank you.
Thank you, Ilakia. We would like the scholars to participate in another poll that is up on your screen now. Please answer the questions. Thank you. Please note that after the formal session, we'll be having an informal session addressing all questions related to scholarship.
I would like to just use this opportunity to say that we are very happy that we had about 11 employees of Amazon join our mentoring program and mentor our students last year. And we have 7 of our alumni working in Amazon, both in India and outside of India. So we have this connect with Amazon, and I hope we'll be able to do a lot more together.
We request the participants to please keep posting your questions in the Q&A box. Thank you. The event won't be complete without recognizing our alumni, whose time and support in all forms is deeply valued by us. We are thankful to all FFE alumni who are joining us today. We have a lovely video message from alumni Mr. K. Amarnathan, who graduated in the year 2005 and is currently working with Amazon in Chennai. Can we have his message, please?
Hello everyone. My name is Amarnath Kumar and I am from Chennai. I did my engineering in Crescent Engineering College and I am currently working as a senior software development engineer in Amazon. Back then, FFE helped me to achieve my dreams by reducing the financial burden on my family. I would always be thankful to FFE for this. I've been a proud FFE alumni for close to 15 years now. And I've been trying to do my part to help FFE to fulfill the dreams of many more. Each time I make a contribution, I feel satisfied and happy. And my family keeps reminding me whether I have made the contribution or not. That's the impact FFE has had in my life. I urge all FFE alumni to come forward and make more contributions so that FFE can grow further and help fulfill the dreams of many more. Considering we are in the midst of a pandemic, I think we should all do a little bit more so that we can help more people. I will do my bit more this year, and I request everyone to consider this aspect as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Amarnathan, and we truly appreciate the fact that you have stayed connected to FFE. We have another video message from one of our alum, Mr. Venkatesh Jambulingam, graduated in the year 2005 and working with ETOS in Chennai. Can we have his message, please?
Hi, my name is Venkatesh. I'm an alum of NIT Trichy. I graduated in the year 2005. I'm currently working as a lead cybersecurity consultant for ETOS in Chennai. Some of you might recognize me from last year. I gave a speech last year's meeting. This year the meeting is happening virtually, and I'm very happy to be participating in this meeting. I just want to leave you with one important message, that is circle of giving. I got the benefit of the scholarship from FFE from the year 2001 and 2005, and since then I've been contributing regularly back to FFE in the form of a donor, in the form of a mentor, and in the form of a facilitator as well. So I sincerely encourage all of you to complete your graduation, and when you get your job, start contributing back to FFE so that we are able to support even more deserving students like you. Thank you.
Thank you, Venkatesh, for your inspiring words. And with this, we have come to the end of today's session. On behalf of the board, management, and team at FFE, I would like to thank each one of you for being with us today. This event was possible only because of your support. Our sincere thanks to Mr. Sudata Gautam and Ms. Anita Kumar from Amazon, Ms. Janani NM from ETOS, Mr. Akhil Iron from NetApp India, Ms. Malu Gadzar, and Ms. Smita Uttarwal for joining us today and spending their valuable time with us. Thank you, Mr. Sudata, for coming on live with your inspiring message. Thank you, Mr. Padmanabhan Ramachandran and Mrs. Jaya Krishnaswamy, and FFE scholars Prashant and Ilakya, and FFE alumni Amarnathan and Venkatesh Jambulingam for sharing your insightful videos. Thank you, respected facilitators, for your valuable time. We truly appreciate all the good work you're doing. And special thanks to all the students and alumni present here. Last but not the least, thank you to the FFE management for their continuous support, and to FFE team for organizing this event. Special thanks to Priyanka Ramesh and Sharada Lakshmi for the seamless coordination and ensuring that this event is successful. Thank you all. Before we begin the Q&A session, I would like to let you know that there is a feedback form that will pop up in another tab when you end this meeting. Please take a minute to fill the survey. We shall be sending the link to the feedback form on your email IDs as well. Please do take a minute to fill the form if you are unable to fill it now. I would quickly like to share the results of the second poll with you all. We could maybe start the Q&A based on these responses. Meanwhile, I request all of you to continue posting your questions by clicking the Q&A button below. We shall try and answer as many questions as we can. So the first question is asked you, have you renewed your scholarship? Looks like only 50% have renewed it. So I request all the students to please create an application and submit it before October 31st. So here I want to take an opportunity to address the engineering students about AMCAT and the training that has been rolled out by FFE. Everyone works hard to get their dream jobs. However, the demand for job is higher than the supply of job opportunities. Therefore, you need to do something that will get you into the limelight. So this is where AMCAT comes into picture. What is AMCAT assessment? AMCAT is an employability exam which judges you based on your skills and your readiness to join the corporate workforce. This assessment shows you the reality of where you stand, how polished your skills are, what are your strengths and your weaknesses. Let me tell you that AMCAT test will be the first level of interview in any placement, any campus recruitment. So unless you clear this round, there is no way of you portraying your technical talent to the recruiters. So FFE takes the responsibility of identifying your areas of improvement and rolls out the English and aptitude program that is required to clear the AMCAT test. Kindly take all these trainings seriously as these are life-changing opportunities. Make use of the programs given to you and show improvement in the upcoming AMCAT test. By this, you can groom yourself with more confidence and become corporate ready. So there are the other questions, and fairly, students have been using smartphone and laptop. So I can see that most of you are connected to FFE on LinkedIn, but some of you are not connected on Facebook. So I request all of you, all the students, to please connect to FFE in LinkedIn and Facebook. The links for the same will be posted by the team in the chat box.
Jennifer, there are questions about the mentorship program. I think Sudha would like to answer that probably.
Yes, and I think there are a couple of questions for Mr. Sudhata, and I thought it'd be good for him to hear that. One is, of course, how does one get jobs in Amazon? What is it that you're looking for in terms of skills?
Sure. So Amazon, am I audible?
Yes.
So Amazon offers a variety of roles, not just in IT or mainstream programming. There's plenty of different types of roles that are available. Look up at Amazon.jobs website.
Sudhata, could you be a little louder, please? A little louder.
Sure. Is this better?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So Amazon offers a wide variety of roles, obviously, not just for IT students. However, the details are available in Amazon.jobs website, and keep looking for your interested stream and for the roles that are coming up. And in terms of the basics, I can speak to the computer science, and then I can also speak to partly the generics. So in terms of computer science, like I mentioned already, algorithms, programming, data structures are going to be extremely essential for any interview at Amazon for IT stream. Even for any stream, including IT, look up Amazon leadership principles, and that is something that is going to be very critical for interviews in Amazon. Even the recruiters will tell you how to prepare for it. Just read up about it. If you're coming up with an interview with Amazon, that will be very essential for you as well. Hope that answers the question.
Then a question is, how can you get an internship at Amazon?
That part, I guess I'll have to refer to my campus team. I'm not able to answer right now. Yeah.
So the other question is, does Amazon do off-campus hiring?
Yes, they do. There are frequent events that happen, and again, we can refer to our campus team to figure out how to get embedded with that.
Okay. Thank you. And I think a lot of the questions are related to the scholarship and the application process, which is what I think is worrying everybody, worrying the students right now. So, so here's another question to you. It says, what does a mechanical stream student do? What can a mechanical stream student do to get a placement or a job at Amazon in India?
So that is a little harder question. I've seen, interestingly, I've seen even mechanical engineering students demonstrate their programming skills and come into the software development stream, which is where I work in. So that has been very interesting. That's one opportunity, definitely. That said, there are, like I said, there are many other roles within Amazon as well. Some parts of it in, say, the management, the program management parts of it, and various other streams. So look through the site and see what roles do interest you, and then keep applying. And it's just that you have to keep persisting, look through the roles to see if you find a match to either your skills and your interests, and ideally both. And I'm sure something will work out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sudhata. Sudha, I'll take over.
Yes, great.
Yeah. Yes, I think there are a couple of more questions, but I think they're pretty, similar, and they're all more keen on job profiles for Amazon. So I'm going to tell them to take a look at the website and look for opportunities that will suit their profile.
So thank you, Mr. Sudhata. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Sudhata. So Sudhata, there are a couple of questions for you as well.
Yes.
And one of it is talking about FFE's expansion program.
Okay.
So
to other disciplines?
Yes, to other disciplines.
Yes.
As well.
I think, these are discussions that the board does have. And I think we are always tied to our funding situation. So I have to say that our two new programs, the B-Farm and the law program, there are nationalized tests that decide merit. And I think that's a very important criteria for FFE, that is truly a merit and means scholarship. And I think for both B-Farm and law, we have the CLAT exams. For B-Farm, it's NEET in most colleges. So those are the nationalized tests that help decide the merit criteria. Most importantly, we need to have donors who will support those programs. And I think that is where our bigger challenge is, where we are able to find champions who will actually do disciplines and help them grow. So we are very open to ideas as long as we can get funding to support the ideas.
Thank you, Sudha. So I think there are a couple of questions also on the mentoring program.
Yes.
And where the scholars are asking a brief on how to register for the mentoring program and stuff. So would you like to answer?
Yes, so we have a really structured mentoring program, and I think our team can tell you give you the email ID of the person you should write to if you're interested in the mentoring program. It's open to all third-year students in engineering, and the idea is that we will pair you with a mentor so that you can go through a curriculum which is skills for employability over an 8 to 10 month period, and it'll be one-on-one remote mentoring, and we will track and make sure that you are indeed making use of this opportunity. You are meeting with your mentor, you're completing the curriculum. At the end of it, if you've completed all the sessions, it is a total of 14 sessions or 7 modules. Each is 2 sessions per module. It's about 3 hours per month of commitment. The end of it, if you do it all and you do well, you become a champion mentee, and the mentor becomes a champion mentor. And we want everyone to become a star mentee or a champion mentee at the end of this program, along with their mentor. Because it's truly, truly rewarding, both to the mentee as well as the mentor. So please make sure to write in to the email ID that's going to be shared, and our team will be able to get back to you. We encourage all third-year engineering students to please sign up to become a mentee.
Yes, thank you, Sudha. I think that was important to also tell them it's mainly for the third-year engineering students. And, it always goes not only for mentoring, but I think for all streams, we request the scholars to check their emails regularly, because right now that's our only mode of communication, and it will mainly be emails. So there are a couple of questions on internships and placements, and maybe Jennifer, would you like to just address both of them together? Their questions are on, do you have any specific help for placements and internships? And if so, how are they informed about it? So I've just, put it all together.
Yeah. So FFE does not have a structured placement program or an internship program, but we do reach out to our corporates, and through our connects, we try to find opportunities for our scholars. And as and when we get information about any opening, based on the criteria, we will reach out to you all. Please ensure to keep checking your mails. As Pratna said, that's our first mode of communication. So in case you miss the mail, then you might miss an opportunity.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. And I see a lot of, I think most of the questions that are remaining are scholarship related. And Shubha, we have a small presentation from the manager of scholarship teams, Shubha, and she will take you through a few slides on how to go about the renewal process. So over to you, Shubha.
Hi, Pratna. Thank you. Welcome students and most importantly the facilitators. I'm happy to see so many facilitators participating in this program, and especially Tamil Nadu facilitators. You all are true mentors to all the students. Thank you very much for that. I would like to give a small presentation to the scholars today to talk about the renewal process. Because of the COVID year, they are facing some challenges, and I would like to clear all their doubts. Let me share the presentation. Okay. So we have told you that 31st October 2020 is the last date for creating your renewal application. Please note that you need to create your renewal application, and even if you do not upload your documents, it is all right. But if you cannot create your application before 31st October, you will not be able to create it after that. So please create your applications even with 0 documents. It is all right. Post that, you can upload your documents anytime. And another important thing to note is we are not looking for attestation this year. Please do not approach your facilitators for attestation. We need you to speak to your facilitator over the phone, convey to him or her about your academic progress or your other things which you're doing in your time, about your training programs, about how you're spending your time, how you're able to attend your classes, all this information, because they will give you guidance. But do not, please do not go and attempt to meet them or approach them for attestation. Some information here. 897 students are there in Tamil Nadu this time for renewal, out of which most of them have applied. I'm happy to see that, but 199 students are yet to apply. 178 BE Tech students, engineering students, and 21 medical students have not yet applied. Just for your information, I have put across here, from MIT, 70 students have not yet applied. GCT and 34 students, NIT Tiruchirappalli 29, Anna University 28, and Stanley Medical College 20 of you have not yet applied. Please create your application. Once again, I'm telling you, before 31st October, otherwise you will miss your renewal scholarship. Okay. Going on to some of the questions and documentation. I understand that your event semester exams were not conducted because of the pandemic, and you may not have your event semester grade cards with you, and some of you have not paid your fees also for the next year. No worries. You please create your application and upload your college ID card instead of your bona fide certificate. We understand that bona fide certificate is issued by the college. You are not in college, you are in your hometown, from home, attending classes from home. So you need to just upload your college ID card instead of the bona fide certificate. And please upload your bank passbook copy. I assume that is there with you. Statement of expenses, if your college is able to issue 2020-21 statement of expenses, well and good, upload it. If it is not present, please upload the previous year statement of expenses. Oath and pledge document and parent declaration, please note we have made some changes. You need to download the new version, sign, take your parent signature, and then upload that. Okay. Letter of thanks to the donor is only a guideline is provided in the application. It is up to you to write a clear letter of thanks to the donor. If you know your donor, address him. If you do not know your donor, you can always say to an FFE to the FFE donor. And note that this is a Word document, not a PDF document. It's a Word document. The application will only accept .doc or .docx. Okay. Coming to the odd semester and even semester grade card, I will also show you some of the sample grade cards. We understand that you are downloading it from the college portal. Ensure that your name, your roll number, the date of the semester, dates of the semester, for example, if it is even semester December to June is mentioned clearly. Take a snapshot of that with all the subjects and the credits and all the marks, grades which are mentioned, and upload that. Some of the colleges are providing grade cards through email. Those are also acceptable. Those are very, very clear. I will show you a sample now. Please upload those. Those are also perfectly fine. Now, college fees paid receipt. I'm assuming that the college has started for most of you, and colleges have asked you to pay some kind of fees. Please pay that. Please upload that receipt, whatever you have paid in terms of online receipts, or if there is a transaction happened through your bank and it is clearly mentioned there that the amount is deducted in order to pay fees to the college, that receipt is also fine. So we need proof of whatever you have paid. Please upload that. We understand you have not gone back to your hostel, so hostel and mess receipts are missing. No problem. Only college fees receipts, whatever you have paid, please upload that. I hope I'm clear, and I hope I've answered most of the questions. This is how your renewal application looks like. When you log in into your renewal application, you click on the ticker. It shows you year in which studying. I'm very specifically telling for first year MBBS students. Most of you have not completed your first year of MBBS because your exams are not over. MCI has issued a guideline that unless you go back to college, your exams will not be conducted. No worries. You please choose year 2 SEM 3 because the scholarship for year 1 is already done and over. So you have to choose the next year, choose year 2 SEM 3. Grading system, please choose class or CGPA. Percentage, if you do not know, it is a optional box. Right now you can leave it empty. Once you receive your grades, you can upload the grade, you can upload the value there. Rest of the details, please fill in whatever you know. If you don't have the second semester results, even semester results, it's all right. You fill in as no failure ATKT, and if you have passed the odd semester. Rest of the details, facilitator meeting date, whatever date you have called your facilitator, fill that. And the moment you click on OK on this particular application, the application gets created. Okay. The next thing application asks for is the uploading of the documents. Like I already told in the previous slide, upload all the documents which you can: college ID card, passbook, the parent declaration, pledge. Almost 7 documents you can upload without worrying about college, without worrying about being in college. Only results, that too even semester results, you will have. Medical students second year, third year will have their results. Upload that. First year no results, it's okay, don't upload right now. We will see when your exam is conducted. Okay. This is specifically for medical students. Like I said, first year students, first year medical students, your exam is not conducted. Do not upload any grade card as of now, it is fine. If you have paid any fees for the next year, please upload. If you have not paid, it is all right, leave it empty. Let the application be in incomplete status. Once you receive your grade cards, you can upload and inform us. And only then you can submit your application. So do not worry about it not being submitted. It is all right. We can see the documents you have uploaded. What you should not do. Do not use a mobile phone to create your application because some of the drop downs do not work on the mobile phone. As far as possible, please use laptop or computers to create your renewal application. Everything will go on smoothly in that. Do not upload old receipts of previous year. They are not useful to us. Please do not upload. In only exception is for medical students. Those please get write to us on scholarships and we will solve your queries on that. Bona fide certificate, most of the students upload last year certificates. Please do not do that. We upload your college ID card if it is available with you. If college ID card is also not available with you, some of you have told us that you have left it in the hostel rooms and you have not gone back to college. It is all right. Once you pay your fees, there will be a receipt which talks about which college you are, which year you are studying in, which semester you are studying in. Even that you can upload in the bona fide certificate place. But do not put any receipts or any certificates of last year. That is not acceptable. Oath and pledge and parent declaration, like I already told you, upload new versions only. Okay. On the grade cards, like I told you, I will just show you a sample. Pratna, I just need 2 more minutes, please. Just showing them a sample of.
Yeah, Shubha, because most of them are scholarship related questions.
Queries, right.
Yes.
Okay, we have received 2 kinds of marks cards, as you can see on my screen. Can you all see? Pratna, can you see the screen, please?
Yes, yes,
yeah.
We can. Yes.
See, this is your this is one of the sample marks grade card. The student has received by email. Very clearly mentions which college, the name of the student, roll number, the grade, the subjects, the grades. Everything is very clearly mentioned. This is totally acceptable. Please upload this. Some of the students have not been able to get this kind of a grade card results. Some of you have uploaded like this. This is a snapshot taken from the portal. I hope it is clear. Here also you can see the roll number, the branch, the name of the college, the subjects, the grades are very clearly mentioned. Now I want to bring it to your notice. Here the year is also being mentioned at the top. It says December 2019 to April 2020. This is very important for us. So please ensure that this comes on your screen while you take the snapshot. I think I have answered all the questions. Pratna, over to you.
Yes. Shubha, so screenshots is acceptable?
Screenshots are acceptable, but like I said, please make sure your details are present. Yeah. Go ahead, Pratna.
Sorry.
Yeah, so because one of them has said that, they have not paid. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, Pratna, we can hear you.
So one of them says that they have not paid their hostel fees and they don't have the original mark sheet, but they have only screenshots. So, so screenshots for the current year is acceptable, right?
Yes, screenshots of grade cards is acceptable. Like I showed you, please ensure your details are clearly mentioned in that. Your name, your roll number should be clearly mentioned. Take a screenshot of that and upload it. As far as receipts are concerned, most of you have not paid hostel and mess receipts, as I understand. But if you have paid something and if you have a screenshot of that, please upload. We will look at it. If there is any problem, we will make it as a missing document. One kind request to all of you is check your emails often, because that's where you'll get the most communication from us about missing documents. We will clearly tell you what to do and you please follow our instructions. It will go through. Yeah, I would like to emphasize, do not worry. We are here to help you during the pandemic. We want to provide you the scholarship, and we want to process your application. There is a delay because of the COVID, but no worries. We will process once you have all your documents and you will get your scholarship. Thank you, Pratna. Over to you.
Shubha, I would just like to make one more announcement, and it's a request more than an announcement. To all the students, please don't try to forge any of your documents. Don't think that you will be able to provide us with any forged documents and we will not catch that. In fact, not us, your donors will also do a proper scrutiny of your documents that you're providing. So please try and whatever you are providing to us, if you have any challenges, please get back to us, talk to us. Share your challenges with us, share your problems with your facilitators. Your facilitators will come back to us and they will let us know what are the challenges that you're facing. But don't think that in order to complete your applications, you will use any means. So please don't do that. Refrain from doing any such deeds. Thank you.
Thanks, Tanvi. I think that was an important note for all. Yeah, so Shubha, just getting back to the scholarship thing. So if they are a day scholar, are they allowed transportation expenses to reach college?
Right.
Usually they would have, right?
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
things.
Usually, yeah, Pratna. Usually we consider transportation fees because you would be traveling from your home to college. But this year, because you're having online classes and you're at home, you're not incurring any transportation. Please upload only your college fees receipts, and yeah, of course, your scholarship will be based on that.
Thanks, Shubha. So Sudha, one of our scholars from MIT, he's now a part of, he has joined IIT Madras to pursue his MTech in aerospace.
Yes.
This is Vamsi, and he's very thankful to FFE, but he's also asking that, is it possible for FFE to fund his education in MTech for the next 2 years, as he requires this help?
Thank you, Pratna. And I think, this is just to let everybody know that every year we turn away a large number of applications in just engineering and medicine, students who qualify because we don't have the funds. So I think our limitation is, so we're really focused now on undergraduate education. We're saying that we will give you the basic education, and we know you have the ability to find a job and to fund the next level of your studies. So unfortunately, right now, we're not funding MTech, any master's program, and we are only expanded the bachelor's program now to include law and BPharm. But unfortunately, we are not funding MTech. But if you write to us, we'll give you other resources that you can tap into to help fund your education. Other scholarships and other resources. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudha. So one of the other scholars has also asked, when can we expect scholarship amount to be credited in our account this year? Will there be any delay due to the pandemic? So would you like to answer that, Sudha?
Yes, thank you, Pratna. I think, the entire process has been delayed. And what we are trying to do, as part of the Q&A, is to make sure that all of you can send in complete applications, which means that we can process quickly. And if we have the funds from your donor, you will get the scholarship as quickly as we are able to process it. But in order to process it, we need the documentation so that the process can move forward. So I think please pay attention to what has been spoken about by Shubha. The requirements to complete your application process. There is some delay, but we will do our best to get you the scholarship just as quickly as we can.
Thank you, Sudha. So Shubha, back to you. Just 1 or 2 questions and we'll wrap this event. One of them asks, should we upload our graduation certificate after graduation?
We'd like
Do you all ask?
We always like that. We want to see how well you've done in your first job, your job offer. Yes, please share it with us.
Maybe through email, Prarthana. There is no, I don't think there is a placeholder for uploading graduation certificate, but they can surely share it with us through email.
Yes.
And that's a nice thing, actually, like to put into all the alumni, the students who have graduated in 2019-20. If you have got jobs, if you've got placements, please share this information with us. We feel very happy to hear this information from you.
And not just us, Shubha, many a times your donors would also want to keep touch with you, and they would want to see where have you gone now, what are you doing now. So all this kind of connects, you never know where it can land you up. So please, yes, that's a great suggestion. And in fact, we can also think of incorporating it in our technical platform as well in future. So thanks for that. Sudha, I think there's one more question from Mr. Ganeshan, and he can also reach out separately to Shubha on this, but if you'd like to answer that. He says that we need to look at the applications and scrutinize them more rigorously. And by rigorously, we would like to get more details. What is the exact meaning of rigorous for this thing? But would you like to answer that?
So I think this is, we have a process in place, and we are very happy to get any suggestions about changes that may make the entire process more robust and watertight. We are definitely interested. If there's any ways that we could improve it, please share with us. We'll be happy to get on a call and we'll be able to discuss it with you. But do let us know any concerns and suggestions for ways in which we can do our job better. Certainly interested. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudha.
Thank you. So there's one last question, I think, Tanvi, I'll just take it up. If there is any change in the award amounted to students, the cap amount of scholarship, and there is no change. I think the cap amount of scholarship is rupees 40,000. That is awarded to all scholars. And just another note, I saw a couple of questions from scholars on how to connect to alumni. I would request all scholars to connect with FFE on LinkedIn and on Facebook. And this platform, will give you a good network of all alumni and all scholars all over. So, this is the best platform, and I urge all of you, if you're not already connected with us, do so right away. We'll post the links on the chat box once again. All right, so Shubha, just one last thing. If they have their, scores on an Excel sheet, their grades, that's also okay. Can they upload an Excel sheet with their grades? Because the entire college has given the scores, their grades in the form of an Excel sheet.
You will have to share that Excel sheet with us. Why don't you share it over email, scholarships@ffe.org. I'm sure we'll put it down in the chat for you. What we need, most importantly, is apart from your subject names and your grades, which is at the front of the subjects, we also need your roll number, your name, the college name, and what semester you are in, for which those subjects are attached to. That information is required. Even if it is in an Excel sheet, that should be there, and then it might be acceptable. But let's go case by case basis. Share it with us over email. We will check and let you know. Thank you, Pratna.
Yeah, and last thing, students, you may still have more questions, but you can always reach out to the scholarships team or to your donor relations person who you're in touch with. You can just direct your questions to them and we'll take them offline. So we have limited time here today, and I think we should wrap it up now. Sudha and Mrs. Smitha is also here with us today. Mrs. Smitha, it's great to have you with us, and we have always had your support at the back end, but this is the first time I think we are all watching you on live. Would you like to say a few words to the students before we wrap up?
I'm not very good at talking though. So, but I'm very, very pleased and very happy to hear and interact with the team and the student. The chairs I was looking at felt very nice, very good. And with the pandemic, the issue going on and what we are achieving, with Sudha's, looking up to all these things, it's amazing how we are taking it, making it happen. Actually, I'm very, very happy, Sudha. Your team is excellent.
Yes.
And with the pandemic and all these issues, people are scattered everywhere, and getting all the things, getting it done, it is not an easy job.
Yes.
So really thankful for that. The whole team and the students, all the best, and do your best in this situation, whatever we can, and just from bottom of my heart, well done last year, and hope to do well this year also.
That's right. Thank you so much, Smita. And I just want to tell everybody that Ms. Smita Uttarwar has been with the foundation, I think, from the very start in the US.
Yes.
Probably FFE is 26 years old. I think she's been with FFE for maybe 24 out of the 26.
Wow.
All 26 years, Sudha.
26.
All 26 years. So I was there.
So it's wonderful to have you here with us. It's great that our team can see you. And like you say, we have a fantastic team in Bangalore that's based in, the office is in Bangalore, but we have people actually today in different parts of India. Tanvi is in Dehradun. We have a team member in Jaipur. Somebody's in Nagaland. It's all because of the pandemic. Some of them are, Tanvi, for example, lives in Dehradun. I'm saying we are able to work together to make these big events also. And I'm really thankful to a wonderful team and to your support as well and our board. Thank you, Smita. And I'd like to hand it over to you all. Pratna, Tanvi, Jennifer.
A few more lines from you and then we'll wrap up.
Okay. I want to just say congratulations to all the students. I want to let you all know that we want to be able to help you more than ever before this year. We know what you're going through. We've tried to consider all your challenges and we're doing our best to make this a little easier for you all. We want to be able to process the application just as soon as possible. You've heard the instructions, so please follow those and we'll get a scholarship out to all of you. Thank you all for participating. Thank you to the facilitators. Please know that absolutely appreciate what you do for us. Thank you for participating as well. All of you from Tamil Nadu have been totally dedicated to FFE. I think you're a special group of people, also with a very long record of having volunteered for FFE. We completely appreciate what you do. Thank you to our donors who've been here today. It's wonderful. I'm not sure everybody's, on the call. It's been very long. We've exceeded our time. To our facilitators, our alumni, thank you for being here, and our wonderful. Thank you all. It's another wonderful session, and we hope
great participation also.
We'll move forward quickly. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudha.
Thank you, Sudha.
Thank you, Sudha.
Thank you.
So I think, yes, Tanvi, this was great participation, almost close to 800 participants. And with that, I'm sure if you have few more questions on scholarship, we will share a YouTube link, which will answer all these questions and has more frequently asked questions that you can refer to if, we were not able to answer a few questions today. And with that, we would like to wrap up this evening. Thank you, scholars, alumni, facilitators.
Feedback form.
Yeah. Yes. Like Jennifer mentioned earlier, there will be a feedback form that will pop up when you exit this meeting. So please fill that for us and it will really help us. So thank you, everyone.
Please let your friends in Karnataka know that there is an upcoming session on 15th of October. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.